This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. Hey, for anyone who doesn't have a working apprentice in your shop, this episode just may be your wake-up call. Roy Foster from Foster's Automotive currently has 3 apprentices, and you'll get a chance to hear from all 3. Now, 2 are his sons, and yes, they're going through an apprentice program. This panel's excitement and motivation for this industry is so hard to miss in this episode. Carm Capriato here. How are you? The pioneer of Automotive Aftermarket podcasts. And if you've been following the podcast at all, you know how passionate I am about apprentices. Here, I hope, is another episode that will help you generate your commitment. Hey, thanks to our partner NAPA for providing this episode. It's no secret that we're facing a technician shortage, and NAPA Auto Care is addressing that. The free 2-year apprentice program offers a variety of training to produce a technician with 3 ASE certifications. To learn more, members can visit member.napaautocare.com. I have such an interesting episode for you, and I'm so excited to do this. Speak to Roy Foster and 3 apprentices. Oh, my God. Hi, Roy.
How you doing, Carm?
I'm great, man. Good to see you again. I remember us meeting in Atlanta one day as we did a live Town Hall Academy from NAPA headquarters. Wow, that was fun.
Yep, it was a good time.
Roy Foster from Roy Foster's Automotive, Reno, Nevada. You guys got any snow up there?
We got a little bit. Yeah, mostly in the mountains.
75 years in business. The place started with your dad in 1947. Am I right?
Correct. Yep.
Amazing business. You are a busy guy. I don't understand how you do what you do. I mean, you talk about busy. Western Division ASE Technician of the Year. I mean, I know you continue to probably keep your ASEs up, right?
I do. Yep. They're all current. 13 of them. Yep.
13 of them. Amazing. AAA Top Shop finalists, past 4 years. Coach for Repair Shop of Tomorrow, a NAPA Auto Care endorsed coaching and marketing company, and past president of the Reno Auto Care Advisory Council, 2018-2019. You served on the NAPA Auto Care Advisory Panel, and you're past president of the Reno Sparks BDG. And I remember seeing, didn't you guys do something at the Children's Museum? Didn't you put something out there?
We did, yeah. We put in an exhibit for small kids mostly. So there's a little car, and they can take the wheels off and take the battery out and change all sorts of parts. They can slide underneath it, change the muffler. Pretty cool little thing for the young kids, just trying to have community involvement and also, get our youth excited about the automotive industry.
I'm so happy for that. And then there's this other really cool thing. Speaking of youth, and speaking of where do you find an apprentice or even an intern, you're a judge for Skills USA.
Yeah. That's where we met Randy, who you plan on talking to soon. Yeah, we were judging the Skills USA, and Randy was actually from Las Vegas, which, contrary to what a lot of people think, is not near Reno. It's about 450 miles away.
I have to stop and think, because when I tell people I'm from Buffalo, New York, and they hear New York, they think I'm from New York City, and I explain to them, just like you just did, it's 450 miles away from me.
Right. Had a good dialogue with Randy at the skills contest. Randy actually placed second in the state of Nevada. Super bright kid, super enthusiastic, has everything it takes to, just be a winner in the industry. So had a dialogue going with him and convinced him that he should move up here and go to work for us as an apprentice. And here we go, almost 2 years later.
These are the kinds of think and opportunity that has to exist in our industry if we want to grow our own, if we want to encourage young people to come. Okay, there's nobody in town, nobody in the neighborhood. Do what Roy did. Find somebody, make sure that they have the kind of stock and commitment that would be necessary to fit into your culture, and move them.
Exactly. It's been hugely successful for us. All 3 of these guys they're just rock stars. I hear every day in the industry here, can't find a tech, there's no techs, everybody's retiring. Well, we got to do something about it, right? We need to introduce the youth to, automotive. I think the perception of a lot of people is the greasy guy in coveralls, laying underneath a car all day. when in fact, we introduce these guys to tablets, scan tools, all the modern technology that we're using in the industry. And they're like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's attractive to them. So I think part of it is changing the perception and just getting in front of our youth. Our BDG, we get into the high schools, we get into the community college, we do the Skills USA. The museum is another piece we've done, just trying to reach out to the youth and introduce them to what it really can be.
I've been doing an awful lot of shows or writing blogs and articles about apprenticing and internships. We recently did an aftermarket weekly show where we do a shop tour. And on the shop tour, we were able to meet this young intern that came to the shop owner from the Big Picture program, which is a national program that looks to place shadowing style programs into skilled businesses, be it plumbers and be it salons or be it electricians, be it automotive. And you're doing it right, Roy. In so many years, I mean, probably even right now, you're just, what shortage, right?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And these guys are probably the best BTECs out there right now. And we're continually training. They're signed up for 10 auto tech trainings this year. They'll attend all those. They do the NAPA online curriculum. We do training each week as a team. We're always learning something. And, in addition to that, we have ASE Master Techs mentoring these guys throughout the day. It's amazing to watch, no bad habits to unlearn. So these guys know how to use pro-demand all data. They follow the procedures. They're always using the torque wrench. Really conscientious about the customer experience. One of the things that really proves all of what I'm talking about is our DVI, our digital vehicle inspections. These guys by far do the best DVI in the shop.
And why is that?
There's a couple reasons. I think because that's all they know. That's how they've been trained to perform. The tablets are like second nature to them. There's no obstacle for them to overcome using a tablet. So I talked about the Master Techs mentoring these guys in the shop, on automotive repairs. In reverse, these guys are mentoring the older techs on how to more efficiently use the tablet, how to more efficiently do a DVI, how to take better pictures, so on and so forth. So everybody out there would be envious of the numbers that these guys produce. And it's top shelf, super quality work. No comebacks, no problem.
Hey, Carm here. Now, what kind of management and customer service training are these apprentices learning? Well, keep listening and find out. Hey, it's Carm, and I'm back to talk NAPA Auto Care and Auto Tech training. Now, as a repair shop owner, technical training is essential in the ever-changing world of automotive technology. Or as one Auto Care owner put it, train or you'll phase yourself right out of business. Thanks to NAPA Auto Tech, technicians can keep their skills sharp and their NAPA know-how up to date by attending hands-on classroom-style training for almost every vehicle make and model. You can choose from classes in diagnostics, heating and cooling, electrical, electronics, brake systems, ignition and fuel systems, plus a whole lot more. NAPA Auto Tech is the highest quality training the industry has to offer, and it's presented by experienced instructors who are ASE Master Certified technicians. Now, some have owned their own shops, and they all have a detailed automotive background. The trainers consistently receive excellent ratings from the technicians who attend. Even after the class is over, techs can access course information online with ClassPass. So when questions come up later, they can use ClassPass to get the answers 24/7 from any computer with an internet connection. Now, what's more, NAPA Auto Tech has been accredited by ASE's Continuing Automotive Service Education Program, reviewed against industry standards, and approved by peers. Don't just take my word for it. Auto Care Center owners who have taken advantage of Auto Tech training say that well-trained technicians are helping to increase their shop's repair capability and raise bay productivity. Now that results in fewer comebacks, more satisfied shop customers, and reduced technician turnover. It's hard to beat that. Your servicing NAPA store can tell you even more about the benefits of Auto Tech training, plus the many other reasons to become part of the NAPA family with over 17,000 NAPA Auto Care centers from coast to coast, making it the largest network of independent automotive repair shops in the country. It's amazing. You talked about, the young guys mentoring the old guys and the old guys really helping form and shape as master techs, these young guys going through it. And mentoring is critical in a great apprentice program. Roy, you probably learned on a keyboard. I learned on a keyboard. But if you look at these young team members of yours and watch them type on a tablet or watch them type on a phone, it amazes me. Just totally bam, 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 bam. They can almost type faster on a flat screen than I can on a keyboard. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're super efficient with that.
And they're in that adaptability. Yeah, bring on the tech we wanted, and being able to navigate your DVI because they've got that skill that they've been using for so long. So okay, we've got 3 of your apprentices on with us. 2 of them are your sons. Son Zach Foster, son Logan Foster, and Randy Cowles. And Randy is the young man who moved up from Las Vegas. So Logan, how tough is your dad on you?
Oh man, he's the worst. No, he's a great boss. It's pretty cool because not only is he my dad, but he's a great mentor in the shop, not just to me, Zach, and Randy, but to all the techs. He really helps out through the diagnostic stuff, through just simple repairs. It feels like he's always teaching me something new every day. And it's really pretty cool.
Will your dad ever get out of being under a hood?
He's mostly out from under the hood. Now it's just teaching us how to become that guy. I guess I don't think he'll ever get tired of it.
He could probably diagnose a car just by listening to it, right?
Sometimes it seems that way. Sometimes you're looking at a problem and you're on it for 20 or so minutes, and he comes over, oh, here, there you go. And it's just done. It makes it look real easy.
The training that you're getting, is your learning curve huge right now? Are you absorbing more than maybe you can even handle?
A lot of times, yeah. I think the best way it was described is trying to sip water out of a fire hose. There's a ton of information pouring in. I feel like I'm learning way more than I'm losing doing the apprentice program. Every day, like I said, it's just there's something new. There's another skill. It may be something obvious that changes how I work every day in the future, but lots and lots of learning. And it's not only hands-on, but like you said, it's online. It's taking the classes. It's sitting in the meetings. There's a lot of different ways that we learn here.
I think that it is so critical for people to understand that the apprentice program is structured. It's disciplined. It is all kinds of training. So much of what training is, and Logan, I want you to kind of chime in here too. I recently did a Town Hall Academy on the learning process, and one of the big takeaways was, and as you said, here comes the fire hydrant, and I'm getting all this stuff in, but how do you really assimilate it? And we took back, do it, share it, teach it. And in my mind, if you don't practice what you learned, find an opportunity to practice it, share it with the other guys. Hey, remember we were doing this and this happened. And then if not, say to someone who's even a mentor and a master tech, hey, let me share something with you. Let me teach you something that I learned. I'm sure you know it, but if you let me walk through it, I'll learn it more. Do you agree with all of that?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really cool that I'm working with Zach and Randy that are also in the program, because I get to share everything that I'm learning, and I get to ask them questions about what we're learning communitively. Even if it is the older techs, there's a lot of valuable information that I come across that I'm able to share with other people. Because if you're sitting there in front of your laptop doing the classes, it's not doing you much good until the next day you come into the shop and you're like, hey, I remember I studied this, or you get to share it with someone, or you get to apply it somewhere.
Roy, I think you got an advantage because you've got 3 going through the NAPA Apprentice program at the same time. And I think Logan just nailed it. We're going through it together. And it's almost like that's 3 times the value because one can help the other. I've been on a soapbox just getting people to get 1 apprentice going. My God, you got 3. So do you see that advantage?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, collectively, there's a power in that for sure. I'm just amazed at how proficient and how skilled these guys are already. The plan is that they all graduate by summer. They should have their smog license, their state smog license, and 3 ASE certifications each. So, and then we're just going to keep progressing. There's lots of training to still do beyond that. And I figure in another year or two, I'll have 3 unbelievable master techs.
After they're done and say for a while you get them rolling into the business in a bigger, better way, will you do another?
I think so. I have techs that are aging out. So the more technicians I can build, plus, it gives me an opportunity to become multi-location. It opens a lot of doors.
It sure does.
A rising tide raises all ships, right? So even if I'm doing it for the industry and helping a young man become a good man and get into a good career, it'll be worth it to me, even if I can't, keep them full time.
Roy, I've heard so many excuses. Well, okay, at the end of 2 years, I really don't have a job. And I say, how do you know at the end of 2 years you won't have a job? How do you know where your business really is going to be? I don't think you do an apprentice if you're in your twilight zone and you think you're going out of business or going to sell. If you know that growing your business requires you to grow sales and get new customers, you have to have people in order to fix these vehicles. And the other thing is, what if I train them and they leave? That's a bad excuse for a lot of things in our world. But here's what I say. If you taught them, they came through your business in an official capacity, in an official apprentice program, and they leave, they'll never forget where they got their start. They'll never forget where they put their first wrench on what vehicle because of what training. If you showed them a career path, not only just for your place, and maybe they left and they went somewhere else, they'll never forget you. And someday, as they earn their bones, they may come back as an A-Tech.
I agree. I'm pretty sure that I've got these guys' loyalty. They're part of our culture. They're invested. They're good. They're becoming great friends. You can ask them, but my opinion is that, they're really happy working for me. So I'm not worried about training them and losing them. I'm more worried about taking care of and continue to invest in them. So they recognize I'm invested in them.
Let's get Randy on here. Randy Cowles, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to have you. Congrats on this great appointment. What was it like moving from Reno or from Las Vegas to Reno?
So originally I came to Reno to attend UNR, and I was planning on getting a business degree, and I kind of was doing that at the same time as the apprenticeship program because I either had the option to do the apprenticeship program or to go to a school like UTI, and I thought I would have a lot more fun going to like a regular institution and hanging out with my buddies. It just so happened that this place is the best job I could have asked for.
And so you're earning while you're learning, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it opens up so many doors for us. I mean, we get to invest in ourselves at the same time as learning the trade. So
let's do the math. If you went to a school, it doesn't matter, business degree, if you went to UTI, and UTI is a great organization, you'd need some money to do all that. This way, it's like you've got no tuition costs. Maybe you do, I don't know. And you're also making money. And so you're learning every day, you're enjoying life. And that's one of the advantages I love, Roy, about anybody's apprentice program is that they're doing some OJT earning and learning.
I look at some of these degrees that people pay tens, even, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and there's no job at the end. They're saddled with all this debt. Maybe they can become a school teacher. These guys are, in a year, they'll probably be making more than most teachers, and they'll have no debt. Maybe twice, I know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's a sad thing for our society to say, but it's just a fact. The return on investment, they're only investing in themselves. They're investing in tools. These guys have a little bit of addiction to the Snap-on tool truck, but
I have great tools.
Did you get that NAPA toolkit?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of difference between the level of jobs that you can do with the NAPA toolkit versus somebody that spent $100,000 on a toolbox and filled it with all the best tools out there. It's just about the speed at which you can do those things. So there's almost nothing you can't do with just that toolbox.
That's good to hear. Pete McNeil and Jake Sorensen up in Sandy, Utah at McNeil's. They created this great apprentice program. And every time I talk about the NAPA program, I have to bring up Pete and Jake's name. I've done a couple of episodes with Jake. Smart young man, and we give him a lot of credit for realizing many, many years ago that our industry needed something like this. How's the training, Randy? Do you feel challenged enough with it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think at the beginning it was a little daunting, honestly. When I first started here and first got in the program, I was still, I was 19. I had moved to a different city to go to college, and I didn't really know what I was doing yet. A lot of that was a little bit daunting at first, and then you kind of get in the groove, and then you start figuring out some more things at work and learning a few more tricks, and then applying everything the day after you do the classes. And it really ends up helping a lot. I'm at the point where I feel like what I'm learning is useful and I enjoy learning it.
What has creamed to the top of your learning curve? What do you like to do? Are you, you like the mechanical work, the thinking, the testing work?
I enjoy all of it. I like the intelligence stuff, the using your brain stuff. That I like the ability to figure out problems. I like knowing that I can have things go wrong and be comfortable with fixing it. But I'm definitely a mechanical preference.
And so Logan and Zach, what are they?
I don't know. What would you guys say you are, mechanical or diagnostic inclined? Yeah, they both agreed with resounding yeses that it's the mechanical side for sure. Mechanical.
And so, Roy, you're going to have to take them to the next level after.
Right. It's a line upon line process. We have to start with a good foundation underneath them. And, then we're building upon that every day. I think if you come back in a year or two, you're going to get some different answers.
I bet you I will too. Absolutely. Because I know you're going to throw them all kinds of great challenges and learning curves and stuff once they graduate, because they've got to stay into the discipline structure that the apprentice program is outlined. Hi, Zach. Nice to meet you. As I was talking to your dad earlier, I says, my God, there's your succession plan. It's right there.
It's definitely cool. I've watched him do it, my whole life, and he gets to help me, learn and understand it further.
Put your thinking cap on for me. Walk out like 10 years, Zach. Are you going to be in the bays or are you going to be in the office?
I'd love to work, out in the bays for, probably till I'm like in my 30s. I'd love to not have to do it. It's still fun to go out there, but there's days where they're long days, and I get home and I was like, man, I can't wait until I can sit up in an office all day like my dad. But
oh my God, they think it's that easy, Roy. I know.
We have a tech on vacation right now. Yesterday morning, we had this van need the fuel pump out, so I was talking to Randy and. The time span, just talking to Randy, I saw my dad, he put his uniform on, he set the rack, and then walked away and did something. I came back, and he already had the tank out. And it couldn't have been like 5 minutes talking to Randy about it. We're just building our confidence, and I'm finally starting to feel good about myself. And then I watch old man who can barely walk up the stairs at night drop the gas tank faster than I could even think about it. So
that can barely walk up the stairs. Interesting. We'll talk about that later. How old is Randy? About 21?
He's 20. I'm 19, and Logan's 18.
You're at the bottom rung of an incredible career and opportunity, guys. Wow. So I get it. I truly get it, Roy. I asked the question, does he see himself where he sees himself in so many years? And, they're still full of piss and vinegar right
now. Most days it is fun to work in the shop. Like Zach said, I still enjoy it, but, I have to be disciplined and work more on my business and not in my business. But I'd love to go out and help mentor these guys and, just be involved and, ask questions, give advice. It's always some learning opportunities.
You're getting joy from watching this happen and continuing to impress. Oh my God, you see Dad took the tank down in minutes. You're impressing them, but there's a point in time, like you said, where you have to work on the business that by design and deliberately, Roy, you have got to let these guys take the tank down in 15 minutes, maybe not 5, right? I mean, you have to let them fail forward and learn on their very own.
Oh, absolutely. And that's happening every day. These guys, they show up to work and they work hard. And, each morning we have a morning huddle with the service advisors and, they know what the expectations are for them that day. They know what's going on in the shop overall, with everybody, kind of big picture, what's waiting for parts. Mrs. Jones doesn't need her car till, first of next week. So, if we have to push something back, let's push that back, those kinds of things. They're learning a lot of other stuff. They're learning how to, manage the shop, how to, orchestrate things. And I talked earlier about the customer experience. They understand that. It's not just fixing the car right, but it's like wiping down the steering wheel and all the fingerprints off the car and, picking up the trash out of the car. Just the little things that they do that they understand.
You cannot ignore the fact that the customer experience at the store, at Roy Foster's Automotive, has got to be, the top of its game.
That's my job as an owner. I talked about daily huddles. We have a weekly meeting. We're always training. We're always talking about these things, or they have to be at the forefront. We need them to have a good experience. We need them to, continue to return. And I think another interesting thing, talking about the customer experience, is seeing these good young men out there working hard with the competency that they have. I think it makes a great impression on their clients.
It's got to. I think the biggest takeaway for me in this episode is to realize that you are right there on the bottom rung of youth, 18, 19, 20-year-old, the incredible, fruitful career that they can have. Not only the two sons in the business, but, how Randy has started with them. I mean, it could be a lifelong relationship. Who knows? I mean, Randy may not even think of this right now, but, for the two boys, after, you figure out a succession plan someday, Randy, multi-store, could be the general manager of the place. Yet he learned to be a mechanical guy. And how many times have I been hearing stories about the general manager, the COO of these multi-shop operations? They started in the bays. And I know that's big for you. You want them to have that core knowledge of being in the bay before they even have an opportunity to get to management.
Exactly. Just learn the entire business.
This is a wonderful opportunity to hear from these great apprentices that you have, Roy, and how you've embraced the NAPA apprentice program. And again, there's other apprentice programs out in the industry. And again, as we continue to tell the story of the power and the value of apprentice programs, and the more we put out and show you the examples that are out there and why it's the answer to our technician shortage long term, you have to plant the seed, Roy, if you want to get a great oak.
The more seeds, the greater the harvest. So get yourself a few apprentices, right?
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much for being here, Randy Cowles, son Logan, and son Zach Foster. And Roy, thank you for coming on, and I know we'll see you soon.
Excellent. We sure appreciate it, Carm.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.